Hi everyone, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is the daily forecast for all signs. It is a collective reading, so I do speak in broad terms. You need to figure out if and where it fits in your life, if at all. If it doesn't fit or make sense in your life, that's okay. Nothing's broken or wrong. You just might be working on something different at this time. The reading is originally created for Saturday, March 4th, but it's not solely set for that date. If you're seeing it on a different date, I believe that readings are timeless and that they can find us when we need them rather than when they were originally created for. So if it makes sense to the situation, by all means, utilize the reading. For those of you that are new, please check out the drop-down menu underneath any of my daily videos. In there, some housekeeping rules, things I want you to think about when utilizing the channel. How to follow me on social media, either Instagram or my Facebook business page. You can request a private reading from either of those two places. Know that I will not solicit you for a reading. You have to reach out to me if you want one. They are available, and there's also in the drop-down menu is easy ways to support the channel. You can do that by hitting the thumbs up button, subscribing to the channel if you feel so inclined. That greatly helps. Sharing the video out, leaving me a question or comment. I do appreciate all of them, and I read them all. And did I say hitting the thumbs up? Yeah, just, you know the drill, guys. I will be referring back to the Sunday underpinning reading, which is for the week. It underpins these readings. So if you hear me talking about cards that you don't see in this video, I'm referring back to that video, which populates in the lower left-hand corner of this video at the end. If you want these readings, because I do put up daily content, if you're interested in seeing the daily reading a day ahead of time so you can prepare for what's coming or what might be available to you and get a little head start, I do have a Patreon. You can check that out and subscribe and get the daily reading a day earlier. All right, so let's see what the cards want us to know today. And what can we make use of? What do we need to be aware of? What's going on out there? And let's see where they take us. Oh wait, that was a weird cut. One more shuffle on that. Give me 1 second, guys. That's a clear cut right there. We like that. All right, so let's see what the card is for the day. It is the Queen of Voices. I'm going to say this about this deck. This deck is like gorgeous. It is the Muse Tarot, and I love all of the feminine presence in this deck. I love all of the crows, or I think these might be ravens, but to me, I'm going to say they're crows because I have an affinity to crows. The Queen of Voices is going to be the Queen of Swords, right? She is going to be somebody that is, although she's a queen, which sort of connects her to the cups, right? Queens represent the suit of cups, which is the emotions. She's ultimately the Queen of Swords, or the Queen of Voices. She is going to be about clear, precise communication. She's going to be about clear thoughts. She's going to think logically over emotionally, but she will have a connection to her emotions, right? But we're not going to allow our emotions to lead us today. With her being present, she's going to be nurturing and compassionate to a degree, and this might be with a situation or with others. With herself, she always is nurturing and compassionate, right? She's kind of, if I'm being honest, she's kind of a bitch. She can be, because she's direct, right? She doesn't mince her words. She doesn't, the suit of swords, especially the court cards with the king and the queen, they don't what's the word I'm looking for? They don't mince about with what they feel or how they think or what they want to communicate. They're quite clear and direct in their thoughts, in their thinking. Swords are about communication. They are about the thoughts we think and how we communicate them. The queen is going to be, she's going to favor clarity over, vagueness, or if we find ourselves being a little bit blunt today, so be it. This bluntness is not necessarily a bad thing. It's direct, it's clear, it's precise. We want to be in this precision. We want to be looking at things clearly, through what's right for us, what's true for us. That's the other thing about the swords, is they're definitely representational of the truth, or our truth. I'm interested in where her head is positioned. She looks like she's looking to the past. So she's probably found some clarity around a situation in the past that we've been dealing with. And the fact that she's a queen means that we've sort of elevated ourselves, or come to terms, come to an understanding. And maybe we might be reflecting back and looking at a situation with a clearer vision or understanding of that situation, who we were in that situation, what that situation did for us rather than to us. Does that make sense? We're not necessarily up in the feels about it anymore. We're able to cut away maybe the emotions, the anger, resentments, or anything that we or someone else within the situation may have been having, and we see very clearly our own truth in it, and we live by that truth. We own that truth. I also love how that she has all of these birds around her, and then if you look at her arm, it looks like a wing, that white wing. She's like her own angel. She has this pyramid above her crown chakra, her knowing. I dig this deck a lot. Like way more than I thought I would. All right, so we're trusting that knowing. We're understanding that that knowing is backed by a logical practicality, a wisdom, a truth that we are willing to stand behind. And we're willing to hold it up against whatever situations were in our past that we may be leaving there. This could be an internal process, I get a feeling, like a mental internal thought process that we're having. We might be having it by ourselves. We'll look at the clarifiers and see, but it's powerful to me. It feels very empowered. It feels very clear. And I love that that wing is there, meaning there's a purity, there's a deep truth in here for us that I almost feel like once she's finished like kind of ruminating or understanding more clearly about the past or situations of the past, to me it feels like this queen will then flip forward and fly off, like with all of her crows at her side. Crows oftentimes represent law, universal law, not just regular law, but law in the sense that they understand both the spirit world and the material world and how those laws cross over. So keeping that in mind, with this Queen of Swords, that truth is law also, right? So whatever our personal truth is our own law, our own knowing, and we can live by that and feel empowered by that. Now let's look at the Miracles Now card. My happiness can be measured by the level of my faith in love. I like that. That's beautiful. These cards are a little long, I have to say. When I write them in my journal for what cards come out every day, I'm like, God, Gabby, could you pick a few less words? So the focus here is about our truth, right? The focus here is about our wisdom, what we know to be true, logical for us. It doesn't necessarily matter what, say, other people think or how other people treated us in the past. We understand who we are. We're actually, in some ways, I feel like maybe smarter or wiser because of it. And we can understand that we can still, regardless of what maybe happened, and the reason why I'm saying this is we did see the devil earlier in the week. We also saw earlier in the week the tower, right? And so there could have been something, a little bit of upheaval, challenge at a very strong level, but we have found clarity around it. We have found compassion for it, but we're not necessarily so compassionate to it that we're going to give up our own truth around it. And our happiness, to me, and our faith in love, or keeping our heart open and moving forward in the truth of that, is going to be what's key today to maintaining our own well-being, our own intelligence, our own mental health, let's say, right? Make sure, regardless of what's taken place in the past or whatever we might be sort of inventorying or coming to terms with. And I think that we are coming to terms in a very good way because it is the Queen of Swords. We're not putting up with other people's issues. I don't want to say needs, but like, I want to say basically bullshit. Like, to me, and I hate to swear, but like, I mean, I love to swear, but I don't like to swear on YouTube, but like, to me, the Queen of Swords is a bullshit meter. She's the best bullshit meter in the book. She's even better than the King of Swords, I think. She can like see through that with her intelligence and her wisdom very quickly. So in seeing through other people's issues or feelings or behaviors or whatever that we've been dealing with, we have a clarity that helps us to maintain, to keep not only our heart open and our faith in love, but we also keep our happiness intact, or we can maintain and pursue that happiness through living by this truth. I hope that makes sense to you guys. You'll have to let me know. Let's look at the clarifiers. And what was the underpinning for? We have the Ten of Wands in the midweek. Let me go back to Sunday in the journal. No, that's not the right Sunday. Oh, we had the Three of Swords. So there is some heartbreak or betrayal that I think that she could be, what's the word I'm looking for? Not equipped, like, she's leveling it out. She is finding, remember in the Sunday reading, there was that clear crystal heart, which made me think that we were finding clarity around maybe this past pain, hurt, or betrayal, this sadness, these maybe negative thoughts that we were having around a situation that we loved. Our faith and love still remains, right? That heart still exists, the clarity of that heart. This queen is like coming in and cleaning up that heart and taking it with her, is my feeling. So even though there may have been past pain, hurt, or betrayal, it has not defeated us whatsoever. It's actually, to a degree, empowered us to help us find this truth and to maintain our faith in love ultimately, so that we can attain more happiness in our life that is true to us and us only. All right, let's go to the clarifiers. We have the Two of Cups. Speaking of love, Two of Cups are the mirrored souls. I oftentimes think that this is the most romantic card of the deck. Twos are about relationships. Sometimes they can definitely be about the relationship to the self, too. How we hold ourselves, love ourselves, hold compassion for ourselves. This could also still be around a relationship or somebody we're closely connected to. But we're loving them from a place of wisdom, intelligence, and logic rather than codependence, letting them get away with stuff because we don't necessarily want to rock the boat. That's not the Queen of Swords at all. She's not out to like rock the boat on purpose, but she's not going to allow anybody to rock the boat and her not call it out. Does that make sense? So the Two of Cups is here. Ultimately underneath this, that it would be the faith and love, that love does exist. This harmony, this healing does take place. There could be a mental healing that's taking place around that Three of Swords and this Queen of Swords. We're elevating our original space where we felt pain, hurt, betrayal from the past. The next card is the Lovers. What is going on today, guys? This is Gemini energy, which is also air sign energy. Major Arcana. The air sign, the reason why I point out the air sign energy is the Queen of Swords and the Three of Swords are air energy also. So, wow, and again, we're with this love, this faith and love. Do not close off your hearts, guys. The Two of Cups would indicate the non-closure of our heart, the remaining open to maybe the possibility or the healing of a relationship that might be significant, that maybe was in the past causing us pain. Now, I'm not saying make excuses for that relationship, and the Queen of Swords is not going to accept anything less than she deserves. So do not let anybody or anything, any relationship or any situation cut corners with us today. We can remain compassionate, open, and loving to it, but also truthful, honest, and logical with it, if that makes sense. And then the last card is the Page of Pentacles. So I think we saw him earlier in the week, but what I will say about the Page of Pentacles is the Page of Pentacles, he's solid in the sense that he's Pentacles. Pentacles is a grounded earth energy, right? But he's also about maybe new decisions, learning new messages, youthfulness, understanding as we go, learning in the moment, but learning and taking what we know mentally and applying it to our 3D world, to our relationships, because, and I say that specifically because we see the Lovers and the Two of Cups here, and beginning to move it slowly, because Pentacles energy is rather slow, step by step, breath by breath, thought by thought, adjusting in the moment and making decisions that might feel new or different than how we normally would operate, but they lead us towards success. They lead us towards learning, right? New ways of being within our relationships or within the 3D world. So this Page of Pentacles, and he's obviously pointed towards the future in my mind. It says to me that we may be taking small steps and making changes and choices and learning how to do so in that moment from our own truth that helps to ultimately not only enhance potentially the relationship to ourselves, but also to the relationships that are around us. There is compassion and love to still be had in these relationships, but we want to make sure that we are being true to who we are and what we need first and foremost, and then honoring the connections that are around us that we may be dealing with, even if they've caused us pain in the past. Let's go to the grounding stone. Remember that grounding stone too for the week is respect. And the Queen of Swords is all about respect. She's not going to be disrespected by anyone's lies or dramas or any of that. But it's also about respecting ourselves, respecting the connections that are in our lives, but also not letting them, just because they may be, how do I want to say this? It's almost like, not because they just have been connections in our lives, we're not going to allow them to get away with maybe what they've been doing in the past. I feel like there's a truth here that's reigning supreme, a truth in the love that exists here, but also a personal truth within our own thoughts, mind, wisdom, and experience that we need to live by, and then start to begin to make new decisions through this Page of Pentacles. And these decisions might feel a little bit, I don't want to say awkward, but different than we normally would. But they begin to lead us to new information, to new ways of acting or behaving in the physical 3D world that should bring about new change and opportunity, okay? Let's look, oh Jesus, what is going on? I didn't even look at this when I pulled it out of the bag. This is what we're to ground in today, guys. All right, so we have love, like, I'm just going to say this. The grounding stone is love. The Lovers is present. The Two of Cups is present. And my happiness can be measured by my level of my faith in love. A lot of focus on love today, guys. And love doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. It can be familial. It can be love between two friends. It could even be love for, like kindness and compassion or care that we have for a coworker or the people that are around us that lift us up or that we lift them up. Grounding in this love, maintaining this faith in this love is going to keep us solid in this truth, is going to keep us in these connections in a way that is true. I feel like the Lovers and the Two of Cups oftentimes, because the catechist there, it represents a healing within a relationship too. It can be, to me, like mirror souls or twin souls. The Lovers is sometimes a choice we have to make within a relationship. But whatever this choice is, if some of us are making a choice, it's going to be measured. We want it to be measured from a place of love and practicality with the Page of Pentacles present. But we also want it to be coming from a place of truth and with a level of logic and wisdom, and not, I just feel like she is about boundaries, this Queen of Wands. She's she's about very clearly knowing what she needs and what she wants. She's looking to the past and maybe the past of that Three of Swords and understanding that that's not acceptable for her anymore. She can still maintain that love and pursue her happiness and remain open to that love, but she's going to hold true to her truth first and foremost, and then begin to take the smaller steps, actions, that's the Page of Pentacles here, towards moving away from the past pain or maybe mistakes of others or situations of the past into a new truth that helps her to pursue, or us to pursue, our own happiness by maintaining this faith and this love. The love that exists within us is a powerful energy. Even if that love is only being utilized upon ourselves, we deserve it. And then we will also very clearly know who around us deserves it too. That is your reading. I hope it makes sense. If you enjoyed the reading, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and tune in tomorrow. Share the video out and leave me a question or comment. Bye-bye.